All right. Okay, I got sound, so you guys can hear me. Kimberly, Roger, Pepper, Diane, Kathy. Kathy's an admin. Keith, so you were super coach yesterday and in days prior. Paul Becker, hey, good to see you again. Paul, you might, this stuff may be redundant for you because you took lessons from me for how long? Paul's a good friend that took lessons, God bless him, back when times were tough, work was lean. And Paul built in my studio, our apartment in Pasadena that we lived in for 32 years. Paul built a closet like that was solid as a rock with parts that he got that were discarded parts from like projects that he was working on, and solid, serious closet that he built. And it was so I could store all my guitars and my office would be clean, because prior to that it was like a completely unused kitchen and kitchenette kind of thing, and guitars were just stacked up everywhere on top of the sink and everything, and it just looked horrible. So Paul really helped me clean up my life in that regard. Miguel Verdi, hey, Brian Blakely is new. Michelle's here. All right, we got a good crew. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. Yeah, and Paul also made an amp stand for me, but the closet's still there because Alex is using that room as his studio now, my son. And I think Jack is using the amp stand that, Paul, you made me. That was, oh, nice. That's an awesome thing, Gary. Yeah, I don't have takeout. Sorry. I got some beef jerky, but I don't know how to get it to you, man. Yeah, Paul. So Paul, my son Jack is using as a TV stand, the amp stand that you made. So anyway, but you can see my new digs here. We're in Granada Hills, so not too far from where you live, Paul. All right, let's see what else. We got 20. We got 20. We got up to 45 yesterday. That was pretty good. It was pretty darn good. Some Ritz. I know, right? Everybody got their drink, right? Let me see what you're drinking. Oh, I'm just kidding. So if I touch my face, that's the game. If I touch my face, you have to take a drink. It's our drinking game. And today we're going to do lesson 2 on the modes. A la mode. So if you want to get your ice cream and pie ready. If you put ice cream on anything, it's a la mode, right? I mean, if you put ice cream on cake, it's a la mode. If I put ice cream on beef jerky, it's a la mode. Beef jerky a la mode would be with ice cream on it, right? I didn't touch my face, but yeah, you can go ahead and sip. Yeah, the new paradigm is going to be, if you're sick, you can't go to work no matter what. That's just what's going to be. That's just going to be the norm. If your kid's sick, you got to keep them home. That kind of thing. I mean, the nice thing is I can work while sick. If you're hourly, taking time off because you're sick, people don't want to do that. If you're salary, it's a little easier. But so let's see what we got. Let's see. Somebody asked me to do talk about guitar picks, and at some point I'll do another video on that. I've got this on my desk. This is just a small percentage of the picks that I have. Everything from thumb picks to this is a mandolin pick. It's just some picks that I pick up every now and then just to experiment with, see if I like the sound of them. I'm really into the sound of picks. This is a blue chip pick. This thing was $35. Isn't that ridiculous? But it actually just sounds really good. It's particularly good for strumming. I really like it for strumming acoustic. But even like this rubber washer, to get a kind of a thumb sound on a bass, I like the sound of that. I also, same thing with felt picks. Felt picks sound kind of good. I mean, I don't know if you can. they have obviously a soft sound. It makes sense. My hair is getting so long. I'm gonna try to cut it myself this week, I think. So this could really, if you see me in a hat later, you'll know that I failed miserably on the self haircutting thing. Finger picks for banjo and dobro and stuff. Even my bottle cap, I did a video about bottle cap banjo, but that's like a really abrasive sound. But sometimes when you're doing soundtracks, whether for games, TV shows, or for movies, the composer really wants something that sounds abrasive. Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to do it. We'll see what happens. And sometimes when finger picks, sometimes when my thumbnail isn't sounding as good as I like. I like using a thumb pick. A lot of great country players use thumb pick. And there's like 3 different ways you can pick. I mean, actually, thumb pick would be a 4th way, I guess. You can use your fingers, you can use a pick, or you can do what's called hybrid picking, where you're actually holding a pick and picking with your fingers. And a lot of Nashville guys do that. Be getting lessons from Evan Almighty by the time this is over. Right. Don't forget to like. Like, I got 7 likes already. I got 27 people watching, so I think we can move on. I'm going to recap yesterday because there are a couple new faces, but it's always good to hear it again. Every time you hear it, a little bit more of it sinks in. But we talked about modes, and I've been wanting to do a lesson on this for a long time, but actually I feel like this is actually a really pretty darn good format, especially if the live chat stays up with the video. I feel like this is I may not have to do the video now. The only problem is, will people get directed to these live stream broadcasts? Because it might be hard. So what I'm doing is I'm actually putting this in my modes and theory playlist. So if people go to that playlist, at least they'll see these videos. And so what we started with yesterday was I had everybody get piece of paper out. So get paper and pen out. You're going to want to start a new piece of paper. Don't write on the back of this because you're going to want to refer to this. So go ahead and get a second piece out. And what we did was we started out at the top writing a keyboard out, kind of drawing a piano keyboard because music theory on piano is a lot easier to see than on guitar. And so if you make a piano, you basically going to make a bunch of white keys and then put 2 black keys and then a space and then 3 black keys and a space and 2 white keys, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. If you look at a piano, that's what it is. And so when you have 2 white keys that are touching each other that don't have a black key between them, that's a half step. That's on the equivalent of 1 fret on a guitar. So like here at E and F, there's a half step, and B and C are half steps. So I always said E.F. Hutton and Before Christ, but people don't know who E.F. Hutton is. And so, but B, C, E, F, those are your half steps. And all the others you can just assume are whole steps. And so then what we did was we wrote out a C major scale, a C all the way across, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And here we wrote I and M. I for Ionian, which is the Greek term for major scale. And then the M for major, and just write the C major scale out, and then I learned something yesterday. These things are called carets. So we put the carets over the E and F and the B and C to remind us that those are half steps. And then we went from D to D, did the same thing. So if you want, do a screenshot of this. And then what I would recommend, if you haven't done this, if you didn't do this, go ahead and write this out yourself. Okay. Copy this note for note, word for nerd for nerd, letter for letter, caret for caret. The E to E, and then these were the names, and my penmanship is awful. Plus, I'm using a fat pen, but I just feel like you can see it better. So we got Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, which is also minor. So I may say minor and Aeolian. I'll try to say them at the same time so you know what I'm talking about. And Locrian, which is the last scale we have. It starts on B and ends on B. And all of them have a unique sound to them. That's why they're, that's why we have different modes, because there's different sounds. So today we're going to do two things. One thing we're going to do is we're going to make parallel. See, or these are relative. That was the other thing. If you write the word relative above there, the reason these are relative is because they have the same DNA. They have the exact same notes. Every one of these scales has a C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. They just start and end on a different one of those notes. And they still go in that order, okay? But those scales all have different, everybody knows the major scale. Or, do, re, mi. The Lydian. So F Lydian sounds like a major scale, except the fourth note is raised. Let's call it a sharp 4. Okay. The scale that was built on the G note, so G to G, all white keys on the piano. So if you have a piano, you can practice. You can listen to them by playing just G to G, all white keys, C to C, D to D, and you get all the modes that way. Also, very easy. But the G sounds like a major scale until you get to the 7th note, and that's where it gets, as Verdi pointed out yesterday, the flat 7. And it's a great scale to use over like a 7th chord. So if you're playing G7, you could use G Mixolydian. A minor, familiar sound for a lot of people. I'm hitting an A note on the bass and then playing the notes against it. And that has a very A minor sound. Okay. One of the other scales was E Phrygian. Actually, let's do D Dorian. D Dorian it's a minor scale, but with a raised 6th. And we're going to get that in a second. Don't worry about the raised 6 jargon. Don't worry about the sharp 4. Some of this is going to start to make sense the more you hear it. Like I always say, there's no test at the end of the week, so you don't have to know. If you're like, wait, I don't understand that, don't worry. We're not, you don't have to understand everything. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but everybody seemed to be getting it. Everybody eat fod before cake. Yeah, Gary, I think I'm in a mood for fod today, so I think I'm going to go drive through fod. Hey, you should use your $150 on some fod. I'm just giving you a hard time. Sorry, Gary. But so and then the other one was the E Phrygian, which we were having fun with that yesterday just by playing the E note, and then on the A string, playing the low E string, and on the A string just playing anything in any C note, any note in the key of C major. So you're going to get that's a very Phrygian sound. And then the last one was the B Locrian, which is, as Verdi pointed out yesterday, is kind of a neglected mode, but it's actually a really cool mode. I think you can get some, but you're probably not going to need it for a lot of soloing situations. Okay, so that's kind of a recap of the sonics, of the sound of these modes. Then what we did was we looked at the intervals, okay, the distance between the letters, and we analyzed it. All right, so we analyzed, and I'm gonna tear this. I'm fine. We'll work on this together. So. So we analyzed it and came up with a formula. So we wrote the word formula here, and then we went up here and we just went through each scale. Went whole. What is it? Whole, half, whole, half. Referring to whole. W would be a whole, and H would be a half. Referring to, is this a whole step or a half step? And then because there's no caret above it, it's a whole step. And if it's got a caret above it, then it's a half step. And that's how we came up with these formulas. All right. And until now, we haven't really done anything with that. Well, now we're going to do something with these formulas. So what we're going to do is we're going to create 7. This is now the beginning of lesson 2. So we're 15 minutes into the video. I may have to put that in the info section so that people can skip right to this part. Lance is new. Concepts are still fuzzy to me, but I'm working. Okay. Yeah. So now we're going to do this together. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the formulas to create what's called parallel scales. Okay. So now you can write the word parallel. Is that P-A-R-A-L-L-E-L? Is that right? P-A-R-A-L-L-E-L. That's parallel, right? Because you can write the word parallel up here. All right. The other thing we can do is we can write on the side here, we'll write all the letters associated with our scale. So I for Ionian, D for Dorian. Then we had a P for Phrygian, not F. L for Lydian, M for Mixolydian, A for Aeolian, and then we can do LOC for Locrian. So you can write that over there. So now we're gonna create 7 different scales using our formulas. All right, so there's that. Now, the Ionian we already know, but we can still use our formula to create it. But everyone, and the other thing you can do here is you can write seven C's, because every one of these scales is going to start on a C note, and if you do it right, it should end on a C note. Okay, if you don't, if the 8th note is not a C note again, you did something wrong. All right, everybody following me? Okay. All right. So the first scale was whole, whole, half, whole, whole. Let me write that out so we all have it right here. You guys should have it on your page too, though. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. All right. So this one's easy because it's one we already know. So we go up a whole step from C and we get D. We go a whole step from D and we get E. We need a half step, okay? And this time we're not going to write we're not going to put carets up here, okay? We're not going to do that. So we want half step up from E is F. A whole step up from F is G. A whole step up from G is A. A whole step up from A is B. And a half step up from B is C. So those are whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Okay? Nobody's commenting. Everybody's writing. That's why your hands aren't available to do this. Okay. All right. Now, the next one is going to be Dorian. And this is whole, half, whole, 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 half, whole. Okay? That first one was major or Ionian. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use the formula. I know you guys are listening. You're like, okay, this is where I don't want to lose you. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to go one note at a time, and then we're not going to enter them until I say you're right. That way you don't have a lot of mess on your paper. Although if you're using pencil, I guess it doesn't matter. I can't make a mistake. So okay, so the first interval we need from the C to make a C Dorian scale. This is going to be a C Dorian. Is a whole step. So what's a whole step up from C? Somebody type it in for me. Boom. Hey, Alex. That's my son. He probably just caught the stream. Yep. Oh, no, Kathy. Whole step. It is indeed D. So everybody write a D. So a whole step up from C is D. Good. Okay, you saw your mistake. Okay, cool. All right. Now we need a half step, right? So the formula for a Dorian scale is whole, half, whole, 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 half, whole. So we want a half step. So what's a half step up from D? D is for dad. That's like I did an alphabet book for you. Where is that thing, Alex? You remember that, the alphabet book? Oh my gosh. Yeah, we got a ringer. Okay, D sharp, technically correct, but don't write it down because we want to we want to keep using these letters. So what's an enharmonic? There you go. What's an enharmonic letter or chord? Enharmonic is a word. It means two different names for the same note. Enharmonic, okay? So D sharp is equal to E flat. And we want to keep, and I'll explain this as best I can why we're not going to use D sharp. Because the reason we don't want to use D sharp is you would never want to have a song that was in a key that had both D and D sharp, because your music would be lousy with sharps and natural signs, okay? If we put an E flat in there, that means that we're going to have one flat at the beginning of the song, and then we don't have to worry about it. You flat the E flat at the beginning of the song, and then every E is flatted and you're covered. But if you need a D sharp, then every time you want a D, you're going to have to write a natural sign in front of it. And I can't even do a natural sign on the keyboard. It's not even something you can do. I don't know where that would be. So E flat is the correct answer. Okay. Here's where you're going to start to see the application of the word parallel. Okay. I don't know if you can predict this, but guess what? Every single scale we do is going to have a C in it, a D of some kind, an E of some kind, an F of some kind, a G of some kind, an A of some kind, a B of some kind. It may not be a B, it may be a B flat, it may not be an F, it may be an F sharp, but it's definitely going to have all of those letter names. Okay, so we're going to stick to those letter names. All right. So here's where it gets a little crazy, because this is where having your piano might come in handy, because here is E flat right there. So here's C, here's D, here's E flat. Now we want the next interval in the C Dorian scale is a whole step. So we want to go up a whole step from E flat. What note is that? So E is a half step, right? That's one fret on the guitar. So we want to go up two. So we're going to go to F. And that would make sense. Okay. So anybody didn't get yesterday's lesson, here, take a screenshot if you can. Here's yesterday's thing. Yep, Lance, you're right. F, okay? So some of these are going to be easier and some of them are going to be harder. Like seeing that E flat to F is a whole step, kind of hard, right? Conceptually, if you're not real familiar with the music. But I'm going to go slow and explain what we're doing. And then it's going to happen so many times that you're going to start to see it without me telling you how to find it. Okay. All right. So the next interval, if you look up, it's pretty far up now. Dang, it's way up there in the chat. Okay. I'm going to write the formula out for Dorian again. Whole, half, whole, half, whole. Okay. There's the formula for Dorian. So we've got our whole here, C to D. We got our half D to E flat. We got our whole E flat to F. We need another whole step. What's the next note? What's a whole step up from G? And that would be 2 frets on the guitar. And I know the chat's lagging, so I'm sorry I have to wait for it, but I want to see somebody get it right first. So whole step up from G. I mean, sorry, A. No, it's G. Diane's right. Okay. So 1 fret, remember, or not one. We're talking F to G. Remember here on the piano keyboard, there's a black key between them. So that's a whole step. That's why you want to have so I'm trying to figure out why everybody's coming up with A, but everybody got A. It's actually G. The answer is G. Is the next note in the scale. Oh, did I say a whole step up from G? Oh, sorry. Okay, that's why everybody got A. Okay. So actually, we need a whole step from G. So let's just go to A and just say, all right. so now we're almost done. Sorry. Okay. Now we need. So we have our whole, half, whole. We need a half. So what's a half step up from A? And there's two answers, but there's one correct one. Yes, I've had my coffee. Part of the problem, I had a full cup of coffee today. I didn't drink a half a cup. Exactly. Yay, yay. Everybody's right. Okay. Stupid. No, it's B flat, Kathy. B flat. That's a half step. Look at your piano keyboard if you can. If you can put that in front of you. If you have a keyboard in front of you, or if you have a keyboard in the room, you can look at it. But yeah, on my won't tilt far enough for the keyboard. Otherwise, now you know I'm wearing pants. That's one of the other games we play. Is Tom wearing pants? So the other one is what's the other one? What's the other game we play? Okay. Everybody has to take a sip because I touched my face. So it's a drinking game. Every time I touch my face, we all have to take a drink. Uh-oh. Okay, Verdi, as soon as we finish the scale, I'll hold it up so you can do a screenshot and catch up, okay? Sip. Gary's bragging about wearing pants 2 days in a row. I know one of my friends said, I've decided to take off my pajamas and put on my other pajamas. Okay. All right. So last one, we need a whole step up from B flat. Whole step up from B flat. So if we pull up the keyboard, you can see B flat is this black key right here between A and B flat. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. So a whole step, keep in mind, is same as two half steps. So if we go up one half step and then another, we're going to get full circle. We'll hit what note is that? A whole step up from B flat. Yes. Correct. It's C. Okay. So Verdi, here you go. You want to take a screenshot of that so far? So what we did was wrote the word parallel. And then we wrote our letters that represent each of the seven modes: Ionian or major, Dorian, D for Dorian, P for Phrygian, L for Lydian, M for Mixolydian, A for Aeolian or Minor, and LOC for Locrian. Locrian's going to be a crazy one. That's just going to be crazy. All right. Now, I am going to put another thing over here on the right, and I'm going to put REL, or we can go ahead and write the word relative if you want. Relative M. Relative M. Okay? And what that means is we've talked about the relative minors and relative majors to minors and things like that before. Okay? This is purely, excuse me, for bonus points. If you can tell me what the relative major to D or to C Dorian is. Okay. Let's see. Locrian. Yeah, exactly right. Locrian is very diminished sounding. Okay. So how many flats do we have in C Dorian? How many total flats do we have? Yes. Brian, you're exactly right. The relative major is B flat. We have two flats in C Dorian. And so the relative major key to C Dorian is B flat. Don't freak out about this. Again, no quiz on this. This is just extra bonus points. But basically B flat is the major key that has two flats in it. You know what? Probably before I talked about this, we should have done the circle of fifths. I can do a lesson on the circle of fifths soon too, if somebody wants to remind me that, because we're going to be here for another month. We're not even to April 1st yet, so we're stuck together, you guys. Okay, people are clapping. Don't clap that. Yeah, 27. Oh, 2. Yeah. Okay, so we have 2 flats. The relative major key to C Dorian is B flat major. All right. Now we're going to do the Phrygian mode. All right. So the Phrygian mode, just to remind us, is, okay, Phrygian. Gotta spell it right. Phrygian. Happy birthday, Pepper. I hope we're not in quarantine on my birthday, which is in July. Okay, that would be awful. Okay, Phrygian is a weird one because it starts with a half step and then it has 3 whole steps. I like that. Pretty sure. Let me just double my brain. Yeah. So this is Phrygian. This is the next mode. Okay. It's going to get a little tough. You're going to want to keep your keyboard handy. All right. But also keep in mind that the top word on this page, parallel, and what that means. Happy 28th birthday. You know, to Pepper, if you're online, we'll have to sing happy birthday. Okay. We could do this on Zoom and everybody could talk at the same time. Okay. So keep in mind the term parallel. Okay. So the next mode, in fact, all of the modes, that's why I'm doing it this way, is going to have these same letter names, but they might be adapted to accommodate our formula, our half steps. Okay. Who said Keith? Oh, nice. April Fool's Day, wife. Yep. April Fool's Day, wife. Okay. So we're starting on C. Everybody's having their own conversation now. I'm completely irrelevant. I'm completely unnecessary. I'm superfluous and other synonyms. Okay. So we need, for the Phrygian mode, we need a half step. Okay. So what's a half step up from C? Well, we could go to C sharp, but no, we don't want to use C sharp. So what note do we want then? If you look at your keyboard, half step up from C. Anyone? Yep. Mark, you got it right? I'm waiting. I'm going to write Mark's answer in. Yep. Roger, right? Yep. Oh, dang it. I touched my face, you guys. You got to take a drink. This is just water. Nope, Titus, it's D flat. We're going up a half step from C, so it would be D flat. B flat would be down a whole step. Phrygian. Yeah, we're going to go to a Phrygian. Okay, now this also, it's okay, Titus. It's a little bit hard to understand, especially if you're not a piano player. And you don't know anything about music. A lot of guitar players don't know anything about, music theory and music notation and things like that. So not judging here. D flat would be the answer. Now it's going to get, what do we need? We need a whole step next. So what's a whole step up from D flat? Again, I'm going to get out the keyboard. I should have made a giant one of these. That would be a smart, see, that would have been something smart to do. Trying not to give myself too much homework for this, but okay. So here was D flat, this black key. Okay. We want to go up a whole step up from D flat. Roger, you got it right. Okay. So we're going to go up a whole step, which is 2 half steps. Here's 1 half step to D, another half step, D sharp, but we can't use the term D sharp. We would not want D flat and D sharp in the same key signature. That would be a mess. So it would be E flat. E flat is the answer, okay? D sharp. So if you go from one black key to the next black key here, well, that's not always true. That would be a minor third. So from this black key to this black key is a whole step. Okay, so we're hitting C, then D flat, and then E flat. Okay, so are people getting E flat? Let's see. Roger, Gary, so it's E flat. Pepper, you got E flat. Verdi, you got E flat. Okay, cool. Kimberly, yeah, F would be 2 whole steps. So you're probably thinking, when I say 2 half steps, you're probably going up 2 whole steps. Totally natural mistake to do. Oh, is that what that is doing, the BE thing? Oh, yeah, okay. I noticed that before. I'm like, B, no, you're not even close, Lance. I know what Lance is drinking when I touch my face. Okay, so the correct answer is E flat. So everybody write an E flat there on their. So this is a C Phrygian scale. Okay. I got an itch. Come on. Just coffee. Okay, good, Lance. Okay. And because we're having to put so many flats or sharps in here, it's okay if this kind of stretches out a little bit. You don't want to squish it up too much. Okay. So now the next tone, the next interval we had half step, whole step. We need another whole step. So what's a whole step up from E flat? Anyone want to venture a guess? Getting crunk in the club. Oh, you were looking ahead. Yeah. Well, now you'd be right, Kimberly. Exactly. Yay. Wow. Okay. You guys are awesome. You guys were killing me yesterday. You totally got it yesterday. It was like blowing me away. Now I'm not impressed anymore. No, Roger, it is F. F flat would be the same as E, which is only a half step above E flat. Okay. So we want to go a whole step up from E flat. And remember, we want to use the letter name F. The parallel, all of these are going to be Fs of some kind down here. These are all going to be Es. They're all going to be Ds. Okay. So that's why the word parallel comes in, because the letters are all going to be represented. In fact, I could have had you just write a C scale 7 times, a C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. I could have had you write that 7 times and then just change the prefix of it, whether it's flat or sharp. I'm sorry, the suffix. H, correct, Gary. Okay. Okay, so, yeah, Bertie, you never use flats. Have you ever driven a car? Okay, so flat, F is correct. F is correct. So up a whole step from E, flat is F. The next one's going to be easy. All right. The next one should be fairly easy. We need another whole step. Okay, somebody remind me to tell the H chord story. Okay, so when we're done with this, we're already at 38 minutes and we're not even, this may be as far as we get today. I may go ahead and do the next thing I want to do tomorrow. Okay. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Michael or Mike. Okay. So, yeah, G is the next one. Perfect. Thank you. So this is, we're going to do all of these, but that's as far as we're going in this lesson because we're already at 38 minutes. And this next one, the next section might be a little tough too. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 types of scales. I'm going to give you all of the the relative scales in the key of C in open position. I'm going to write all those out for you, and you can practice those on acoustic guitar in open position. And that way you can start to hear them and listen to them. And then I'm going to show you, we're going to do all of them in parallel mode. So then I'm going to give you 7 different C scales: C major or Ionian, C Dorian, C Phrygian, C Lydian, C Mixolydian, C Aeolian, and C Locrian. And I'm going to give you all, and just 1 octave. I'm not going to make you learn the whole fretboard, nothing like that. I'm going to keep it real simple. In fact, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. This is a really nice little compact major scale. And the great thing about this, okay, I'll show it to you. We'll do this in 2 days. The great thing about that is it's totally movable. So if that's C, this is C sharp major. So it's major. Okay. So that's a major scale. But then I'll show you C, like C Dorian would be, and then we would do C, we would do C Phrygian, and then we do C Lydian. So I'm going to show you all those in one shape and how we're going to have them all. So that way you have something that you can move around for those different modes. Okay. All right. So the next, what do we need now? Okay. Do we do G? Yeah. And remind me to tell the H story. Okay. So we need so the next thing we need, we had whole or half, whole, whole, whole. Okay. So again, I'm going to write this out. The Phrygian mode, Phrygian mode, spelled it wrong. Is half, whole, 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 half, whole, whole. Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, see, that's the story I was going to tell. So I'll tell that story later, Harrison. You beat me to it. But actually, I did a gig where it was. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the case, and I worked for this German composer, and I was like playing all the wrong chords. So, well, that's pretty. I told you the story. Now the story is that's it. That's pretty much the story. So never worked for that composer again. Okay, we need a half step up from G. What does anybody got from that? Anybody got an answer for a half step up from G? That's the next note we need in the key of. That's right. Jim, you're right. Yep, Roger got it. Yay, boy, everybody's getting it. That's awesome. Unless you're just copying what everybody else is putting down. Pepper's writing it out because she's getting spell checked. Okay, so now we need a whole step up from A flat. What's the whole step up from A flat? Jim, you got it again. First in, Jim is like on top of it. This is my next answer to what Jim said. Yep, B flat, boom, boom, boom. No, Kimberly, B flat. And Diane, it's B flat. Okay, so let's look at this. So here's A flat right here between G and A. That black key right there is A flat. And so a whole step up from A flat is going to be the next black key right here. But you go, there's a half step to A and then up to A sharp, but we don't want to use A sharp because we would, God forbid, we have an A sharp and an A flat in the same key signature. You'd be writing flats and sharps all over the place. So we want, that's the answer. The correct answer is B flat. And then we need a whole step. Okay, well, you can guess what the last one's going to be because remember I told you if you do this wrong, or if you don't end on C, you did something wrong. So we want to end on C. So the next one is exactly C. Jim's jumping in. Jim actually teaches music theory at Harvard. I'm kidding. I don't know. Okay, that's right. All right. So now we're on to the next scale, which is going to be C Lydian. Okay, C Lydian. All right. So the formula for C Lydian, or for Lydian, not C Lydian, any Lydian. The formula for Lydian, which is kind of a nice name. If I had another daughter, I might name her Lydian. Maybe Lydia. Yeah. Let's see. That is whole, 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 half, whole, whole, half. That's the formula for Lydian. Remember, Lydian is one that kind of sounds like a major scale at first, and then when you get to that fourth degree or fourth note in the scale, it sounds different. Love the Lydian scale. I don't know if you're still there, Alex, but Alex was doing some writing in Lydian. It's such a great scale. Okay, so we need a whole step. So what's starting on C? Verdi, stop it. Starting on C, what's a whole step up from C? This should be pretty easy. This scale is going to be fairly easy. Something's going to be different that we haven't done before. That's right, Jim. I'm not even going to look at Jim's answer anymore. And Gary's just going to say what Jim said. Yep. Roger, right. Diane, right. Pepper, Verdi, Richard. So you can see the lag. As soon as your answer posts, I say it. So I'm curious how long the lag. Hey, Paul, good job, man. All right. So, I agree. Okay, so D is correct. All right, we need another whole step. It's just kind of cool, right, Richard? This is not really cool. It's just kind of cool. Richard, if you're new to this, you're in trouble. That's right. Yay! Everybody's getting it right. And everybody missed me touching my face. Except Miguel. I think he said sip. Oh, no, Miguel, you said, yep, Miguel caught it. See, this is multi-layers of, you have to be really paying attention in this live stream because all sorts of stuff is going on. We've already determined, though, that I am wearing pants. So that game is over for the day. It's all right, Richard. We've been, the video I did before this, we talked about, just a quick review of what we're talking about. We're talking about the modes and music theory kind of stuff. And we learned the 7 modes, and we learned the formulas, how to make the mode, how to make a mode. And then what we're doing now is we're using the formulas to make 7 modes that all start on the C. So these are all C scales. Okay. So right now we're doing C Lydian, and we've got C, D, E. Now this is the beautiful part about the Lydian, is that we get that raised 4 degree. We need another whole step. So what's a whole step up from E? Anyone? Verdi already answered. So Verdi, keep it to yourself. Nope. F would be a half step. But you're half right, Keith. Okay. That's right. F sharp is correct. F sharp. Okay, so let's go back to our keyboard. We need a whole step. We're on this F. I'm sorry, we're on the E. Did I say, yeah, whole step up from, so we go E to F is a half step. So we need to go one more half step more. So that's F sharp or G flat. However, remember, we're creating parallel modes. So we have to use, and there is a G there, but if we had a G flat there, we'd have to have a G natural here because the next one's going to be, the next note is G. So you would not want to have a key signature that contained a G flat and a G natural, but you can totally have a key signature that just has an F sharp. Oh, and we forgot to do the relative major over here. Did somebody answer that? Somebody may have answered that. I'm going to ask that in a second. And let's save that for the end. Okay, let's get to this stuff first. So F sharp is the correct answer. All right, we want to use the letter F. So how do we describe the next note using the letter F is basically what I'm saying. And it would be F sharp. And now we need a half step. So G flat is the same as F sharp, but we want to use F sharp. And again, the term is, and there is no quiz on this, so don't freak out when you hear, but the term is, enharmonic. Enharmonic means 2 different names for the same note. G flat and F sharp are the exact same note, but we want to use, the next note is G. We want to use the F sharp because we don't want to have G flat and G in the same key. So here we go. And this is the only C mode that we're doing here of these is actually going to have a sharp in it. All right. So yes, the next one is G. So C, D, E, F sharp, G is our C Dorian or C Lydian mode so far. Okay. It's going to be a long lesson. I'm glad I'm moving to the next section to the next, because this is hard. I'm waiting for everybody to give answers. If I just kind of moved on, but I kind of like waiting for you guys because I feel like you're understanding more if I wait. Flats. I know. And the reason flats are not very popular with guitar players is because like open string B, trying to find B flat, you have to go down a string. But sharping anything, you just go up a fret no matter where you are. But flatting things, if you get into open strings, then all of a sudden you're like, wait, where's E flat? Oh no, so that's why guitar players generally don't like flats. Oh man, that's all right, Richard. And thus, got a call from my girl, and thus. Okay, so we need now the next interval we need is a whole step. So what's a whole step up from G? Anyone? Class? Bueller? That's all right. Hey, if you just do what we're doing now, you're hearing lingo. Everybody, yes, yay. Yep. A whole step up from Verdi, stop it. Whole step up from G is indeed A. Okay, we need another whole step. Whole step up from A for our Lydian scale. Whole, half, half. What's up a whole step from A? Good job, Paul. Good job, Keith, Diane, Verdi, Pepper. Verdi's wrong. Yep, Jim, Roger, Kim. Everybody's just waiting for Jim to answer. Okay, whole step up from A is B. And then what's the last note? Without even having to talk about whole steps and half steps, we can just, I hate to do that. I hate to assume anything, but we need a half step. So half step up from B is indeed, see, Jim must be close to me. That's why his is landing first. He may not be answering first. Where are you, Jim? Okay, so you can see the Lydian scale just has one sharp. If C is wrong, I don't want to be right. Exactly. Oh, you're in Carolina. Well, that's pretty far away. Okay, I've got family in South Carolina, and in North Carolina too. All right, so we have one sharp in there, and so what major key has one sharp? Anybody know? So that would be the relative major to C Lydian, is how you would say that. I know that sounds, to some of you, that may be like, wait, what? Don't worry about it. But as I say it more and more, yep, Kim, you're right. The relative major for C Lydian is G major because they both have one sharp. Okay. We can go back and get the C Phrygian. What key has, and you're going to see a pattern develop of sorts. What key has 4 flats? Because that's how many flats we had in C Phrygian. We had a D flat, an E flat, an A flat, and a B flat. Yep, G has an F sharp. That's all right. So the key that has 4 flats is A flat. So the relative, yep, good job, Michelle. Killing it. The relative major to C Phrygian is A flat. C Phrygian has 4 flats, and the key of A flat has 4 flats. All right. C Phrygian, Brian, I would say A flat. I would say C Phrygian is A flat. A flat's a more common major scale. G sharp would technically have like double sharps in it. You don't want to be playing. You don't want to be reading a song written in G sharp major. That would be G sharp minor. Sure, that's the same as B flat, but a B major. But I don't want to get too sidetracked here, squirrel and all that. Okay. Oh, you have the circle of fifths out. That's what I said. I should have almost done the circle of fifths before I even opened this Pandora's box. But we'll do that. That'll be another lesson so that you can have some literacy about what the circle of fifths is. And I have a pretty good lesson I teach on that. Okay. So, all right, now we're going to do the C Mixolydian scale. So the Mixolydian formula is whole, half, whole, half, whole. That's the one that kind of starts out sounding like I'll play G Mixolydian. Until you get to the 7th note, it sounds like a major scale. It sounds like do, re, mi. Okay. I have to go through a whole song to get to the B flat. Am I in the U.S.? Yes, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in Los Angeles City, the city of Los Angeles. Yes, a circle of fifths. That's another lesson we should talk about is capoing and how to transpose using a capo. That would be huge. Oh, Richard, you're in the UK. Awesome. I love London. I was in London in 2014. Took the family there. Got to go to Mecca for me. I got to go to Studio 2. Actually, the whole studio. I got to see everything at Abbey Road. Got to spend a few hours at Abbey Road. That was a lot of fun with the boys. My sons really dug it. So now we're going to do the Mixolydian one. So we need from C. This one's going to be pretty easy. Okay. I'm telling you right now, this one's gonna be pretty easy. So starting on C, we're making a C Mixolydian. These are all parallel. I see some new people joining. These are all parallel, meaning they all start on C. They're all gonna end on C if we do our job right. And the letters we're gonna use, we're gonna restrict them to basically the alphabet in order, D. So we're gonna have D, E, F, G, A, B, C here, but we may have to edit them or alter them a little bit to make them fit the formula. So we need a whole step. Roger, you're right. We need a whole step up from C is D. So the first two notes of C Mixolydian is C, then D. Yeah, well, I'm doing good right now. And LA is not being hit very hard, to be honest. We actually went in lockdown almost exactly 2 weeks ago. And my wife, she's a school teacher, so she's not working. She's a substitute teacher. So she's not working at all. She's pretty much going to probably have the rest of the school year off. I doubt that they're going to start back up. Okay, now we need another whole step. Remember, whole half. So we need another whole step. So a whole step up from D is also, I think as the weather gets warmer, viruses. Very good, Diane. That's right. Kathy, boom. Roger, boom. I told you this one was going to be easier. Okay, the Phrygian one kind of bogged us down. This one's easier. Okay. Next interval, we need Gary. Gary won't answer until Jim does. All right. I can tell I already like this Gary guy. Okay. So we've got C, D, E, and we need a half step. We know just a half step. We just need a half step. So it's whole half. So Keith, that's not quite right. Paul, very good. Diane, yes. Kathy, Richard, technically okay, but we don't want to E sharp and an E in the same song. Jim, okay. Now Jim is just messing with Gary. See how that works? Okay, so yes, the correct answer is F. Okay, we need a whole step up from F. This makes for great. I wonder what this is going to be like on a rewatch. Especially if you didn't have the live chat. If you're rewatching this on your phone, it would be like, this is... Okay, Mark, you're right. No, Richard, not quite. Verdi, no, we want a whole step up from F. Yep, everybody, Roger, Paul, very good. Now, the Locrian one's going to be funny. Funny, haha. Because we're actually going to have... Yeah, it's going to be very odd. Okay, so up a whole step from G is... No, Pepper, just G. F to G is a whole step. Yep, Mark, you're right. Jim, you're right. Of course. Of course, you were wrong last time. Oh, we got another Jim Presley. Diane, yep. Roger, yep. Everybody's got it right. A. Okay. Now we need a half step up from A. What's a half step up from A? If we had an earthquake, if we had an earthquake, my internet would probably go down. So those are 3 Jims up there. Okay, I've not been keeping track. Yep, B flat is correct. And the last one is C. Not even going to ask, Gary. Verdi, you're working on the Locrian one, aren't you? Yep. So B flat is the correct answer, and we end with C. So we have how many flats total do we have in C Mixolydian? So B flat to C is a whole step. Is the correct answer. So we're done with the C. We're done with C Mixolydian. How many? Yep, Diane, that's right. Okay. So what major key has one flat? Anybody know that? That would be the relative major. Yep. Lance, you're right. Michelle, it is F is the major key with one flat. G has one sharp. The one flat is a B flat, but the key that has one flat is the major key that has one flat is F. So we got a pattern developing here. I don't know if you can see this, but right now we're going down kind of in order here in some ways. This is a B flat and then A flats before that, and then G's before that, and F. But again, this is not anything really to be too concerned about. This is kind of big picture stuff, and I don't want anybody to get bogged down and confused. Yeah. I had to approve that, Pepper. Oh, I should have let Kathy approve it. Darn it. That's your job, Kathy, right? We haven't had anybody try to say anything weird. Okay, so the next scale we're going to do. So let me play the C Mixolydian. It works. It's a great scale to use over a C7 chord. Or if you're doing. Okay, so that's C Mixolydian. Okay, we have two more to do. The next one is C Aeolian or C minor. They're the same thing. So the formula for minor or Aeolian is whole. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, dang. I didn't write anything. I thought I was typing. Minor, Aeolian. Formula is whole, half, whole. Oops. I got to capitalize this. Whole, half, whole. I got to look. I don't want to just type it in and get it wrong. Yeah. I was right. I just didn't trust myself. All right. That's the formula that we're going to do next. It's okay, Kathy. I might have just seen it before you saw it. But I think, Pepper, what was that icon? Is that like it looks like a fondue or something, but I think it's Oh, good. Sending the hubby out for groceries. Smart. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. You're right. That's exactly right. That's the formula for the minor mode. Okay. So we need, the first thing we need is a whole step up from C. So what's a whole step up from C? And you guys might be getting better at this as we go because these things are starting to make sense. It's a coconut with a straw. Oh, it's a coconut with a straw. Oh, right. So it's probably that's probably why I had to prove it, because it's probably like a pina colada or something like that, right? Okay. D is correct. Yay. Okay. Whole step, half step. So the next interval is a half step. What's a half step up from D? The whole half step up from D. And again, remember, we do not want to use D sharp. Very good, Jim. See, Mark, yeah, we don't want to use D sharp because we do not. You're right. That is correct. Sonically, that's correct. If I played a D sharp and you said E flat, you'd be right. It doesn't matter. But you do not want to have D sharp and D in the same key. It would just get messy. Okay, correct. All right, now we need a whole step. What's a whole step up from E flat? Whole step up from E flat, or E fat, as Jim Presley calls it. Whole step up from E flat. So a half step. Good job, Kimberly. Mark, you're right. A a half step up from E flat would be E, and then a half step up from that would be F. 2 half steps equals a whole step. Let's see, Mark. Wait, see, Richard. Very good. So F is correct. Okay, now we need another whole step. What's a whole step up from F? Math is hard. No, whole step. So between F and G is already a whole step. So what you did, Richard, you were thinking F to G was a half step, so you had to raise the G. You don't have to raise the G. So we're going up a whole step. Kathy went down a whole step. Or she's behind us. Okay, so G is correct answer. Okay, so far we have C, D, E flat, F, G. All right, now we need a half step up from G. Half step up from G would be, and we want to use the same letter names. Remember, the reason I'm calling these parallels because they all use the same letter names. Exactly right, Kimberly. Mark, boom, you got it. And ab is a word, so it won't spell check that. Yep, everybody's getting ab. Sitting in this chair all day, I am not getting abs. I have a six pack, but it's behind a keg. So A flat is correct. My six pack is hiding behind a keg. All right. Now we need another whole step. Everybody's getting it right. And Richard, it would be A flat. We would not want to have a G sharp, but G sharp is sonically correct. G sharp and A flat are enharmonics. Two different names for the same note. Lance, you killed it. You got it. Abs, Gary. Correct. Kimberly, you're right. So we want a whole step up from A flat. Kathy went down a half step. I don't know why. Kathy, what's wrong with you? See, it's because you're hungry, Kathy. That's the problem. Your husband had to go get groceries. So the correct answer is B flat. And the last note for a C minor scale or C Aeolian, same thing, is going to be a Milwaukee tumor. Oh my gosh. Is my chair comfortable? Yeah, it's pretty comfortable. Actually, just noticed it's starting to get a little worn. I'm gonna have to get a new one. I can't have a chair with arms because I'm playing guitar in it all day long. So, yep, everybody's right. C, we're almost done, guys, but this is gonna be the weirdest one. And again, remember, we talked about Locrian as being kind of more of a theoretical scale. But let me play C minor for you. There's C minor. Okay, so that's what a minor scale sounds like. Or you could call it an Aeolian, but really most people are just going to look at you funny if you say, hey, play a C Aeolian scale. They'll be like, you're too smart for me. I can't hang out with you anymore. I had two huge ones already up bouncing off the walls. I mean, oh, it's coffee? Okay. Yeah, this shows, where did I get this? I think I may have gotten it at, it's not IKEA. I think it was Plumbers, which is like a Scandinavian store. It's similar to IKEA. Maybe a little bit better quality. And I don't know where Plumbers are, if they even still exist. That's another thing. What businesses are going to be around in 3 months? Yes. Yeah. What are you drinking, Gary? Do I want to know? Oh, I didn't touch my face. Okay, so now everybody can take a drink. Okay, so the formula for a Locrian scale was half. It's a weird one because it starts with that. So it's a pretty darn weird scale. Oh, you are? Okay, that's totally fine. I don't care. So it's a pretty weird scale. It starts with a half step. So what's a half step up from C? What's a half step up from C? Yep, D flat. Yay. Good job. Okay, we need a whole step. What's a whole step up from from D flat? Whole step up from D flat is, yes, look at all those correct answers. Not a C sharp among you. Now someone's going to say C sharp just to mess with me. But yeah, that's right. A whole step up from D flat is E flat. Okay, we need another, okay, let's see, what did I say? We need half, okay, we need another whole step. Verdi, right, Verdi's ahead of the game here. Okay, we're moving faster now, but I'm still going to stop here because the next one, I don't know how long that's going to take. It may take us a minute, but keep this paper because we're going to do it on this page because it actually ties into the information we're learning on this page. Okay. Now the weird one, we need a half step up from F. So what's a half step up from F? It's not anything we haven't already done, but it's a new note. Exactly right, Mark. Keith, you got it. Steve, you got yours too. Diane, Keith, everybody's getting it right. Sure, now you're getting the Locrian right, the scale you'll never use. Why are you guys getting that right and you couldn't figure out? Okay, so yes, indeed, it is G flat. And then we want a whole step up from G flat. Good job, Paul. Mark, a whole step up from G flat. Very good, Mark. I knew what you meant. We're back to me working out. Yep, right. Keith, right. Roger, right. Jim, of course. Oh, no, Jim, you're ahead of the game here. Okay, so A flat is the correct answer. We need a whole step up from A flat to almost finish out this scale. We could totally start a band that only uses Locrian or super Locrian. Yep, B flat is correct. And then, of course, the last one is going to be C. All right. We forgot to do the relative major to C minor. C minor had 3 flats. C Locrian had 5 flats. The relative major to C minor is E flat. And the relative major to C Locrian is D flat. And in some ways, that is fairly easy to figure out because remember, Locrian is the mode that's built on the leading tone, the 7th note of the major scale. So whenever we play, like when I played B Locrian the other day, it just wants to go to C. It wants to resolve to the C major chord. So that's where one of the issues with Locrian is that it kind of wants to resolve. It doesn't want to stay. It doesn't want to resolve on its 1. Every other scale wants to land or finish on the 1 note, but Locrian never does. So that's one of the other reasons why it's kind of it's more of a theoretical mode than a real technically used mode. You'd be hard pressed to find a lot of music written in a Locrian mode. So I hate to spend too much time on it, but we got it. So C Locrian would be. Oh, sorry. C Locrian would be. Yeah. And it wants to go to D flat. And that's the relative major to C Locrian. Please put up both pages from each. Oh, yeah. Let me put up yesterday's page and then today's page. Okay, thank you, Steve. All right. And see, there we go. There's yesterday's page, and without my face. Okay, try not to put my fingers in the way. And then here's today's page where we just did the parallel. So these are all, you could say, oh, these are all C scales, but they're not C major scales. They're C major, C Dorian, C Phrygian, C Lydian, C Mixolydian, C Aeolian, and C Locrian. All 7 modes done starting on C and ending on C. Oh, Kathy, should I do it again? Or did you get it? So tomorrow we're going to fill out this. All right. And I'm not even going to talk about what we're going to do. We'll just do it tomorrow. We'll talk about tomorrow because we're already an hour and 15 minutes. If you need me to hold up the first page again, let me know. Yeah, that's fine, Gary. I understand. You know, if you're working, I was working too. I was actually working on one of the. I mean, I've been pretty busy, so a lot of writing, and then a lot of session work. So today I was working on, and as soon as we're done, I'll finish the work. Well, and then I'm going to have lunch, and then I'll finish work. But I was working on the game Apex Legend. So I think if you have a PC, an Xbox, and what's the other one? It's actually free. You can play Apex Legend for free. It's a free game. Of course, if you want the better guns and junk like that, it's a first-person shooter game. But I do all the guitars on that. So if you hear any guitars on Apex Legend, that's me. And there's a lot of stuff I do on it that doesn't sound like guitars. I do a lot of stuff like with just weird effects, EBOs, slides, things like that. Lots of layers and layers of effects to get weird sounds. And for me, it's a lot of fun. Thanks, Kathy. So any questions out there? Any questions on the modes so far? And feel free. I'm really blown away how much people are watching these videos in the past. It's you know, I'll see like yesterday's peak was 45, which was really pretty good. But then the video will actually ultimately have 500 or 1,000 views, you know, and they're still climbing. So that's why I'm leaving them up there. I hate to clog up, you know, Google's servers, but you know, there's no reason to take these down because it's pretty good information. I feel like that I'm trying, you know, that I'm getting up there. You know, Tom Morello's a monster. Tom Morello's a guitar player for System of a Down, among other bands, and he's really a monster. You know, I don't do a lot of whammy pedals. I have a whammy pedal. Oh yeah, I do actually. I'm sorry, I have something else that's a really good pedal if you can find it. I don't do a lot of reviews. There's so many YouTubers out there that do reviews. That when I do a review, it's usually something that's kind of weird. Like my most popular review is either my the bass 6, the white guitar back there on the far left, or is that your right? I can't tell. But that's a Squier bass 6, and so basically that's a guitar down an octave, 6 strings, all down an octave. And I did a review of that, and that one's got a lot of views because they're hard to find reviews on that. And then also my second biggest review, I think, is the review I did on my Jerry Jones electric sitar, which they don't make them anymore. But that thing is crazy. So, Jam Kazam. Okay. We talked about this yesterday, Gary. There is not, remote DAW that seems to magically play live stream, record, post direct to socials video chat. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm going to save, let me open a new window here. Jam Kazam. That would be really, yeah, I see it right there. So I will, if that works out, I'll recommend it. Also, if you're in a band, or if you're, because right now it's brutal for so many of my friends have lost all their work because all their work was live related. My church actually, we're done for the entire month of April. They recorded the first 2 weekends live with a band, and they did the 3 weekends before. I think we've done 5 weekends so far of worship, recorded live, played live, but recorded, and they're just going to use those for the next. They've already done Easter, and my son Alex subbed for me, so like all the musicians, you know, they're not working right now, but I will check out Jam Kazam and then maybe do a review of it because that really plays into really well what's going on right now in all our lives, and also supports my premise that you really need to get good fast. Playing with others is one of the best ways to do that. Well, Alex and I may do something soon. We've done some videos together. Let me pull up one of them. I'll put a link here. So you can check out Alex. We've done a couple things. Capo. Oh yeah. So this video here is called "Let's Talk About Capos," where I reviewed a bunch of different capos, and it was me and Alex sitting in our living room. So there's that one. Oh, you saw Alex? Yeah, Alex was great. Alex is doing a great job, and he did the Easter service. But anyway, like I said, I don't do a lot of gear reviews because there's so many guys that do it better, and so many of my subscribers, that's not what they're here for. So if I start doing a lot of gear reviews, I would get new subscribers, but I might lose a lot of my subscribers. Yeah, my friend, actually, the rolling capo, Gary asked, he saw the video, but he asked, you were the one that asked about the rolling capo, I think. And my friend Brad had one of those. And it's pretty cool. If it really didn't move the pitch down, if you put it over the headstock, then you can move it up. Yeah. And then I did my trick. I don't have a Kaiser here, but I have a trick that I can actually modulate with the capo on the fly. But anyway, for that kind of Tom Morello sound cheap, this pedal is amazing. If you can get one of these, it's a Behringer US 600 Ultra Shifter Harmonist. This thing is crazy. It has 1 million effects in it, and it's only $50. It's such a great little pedal. But then they stop, and it's plastic. So I've got 3 of these because I'm always afraid I'm going to hit it too hard, because I use it a lot, because some of the sound effects are there's latch mode and momentary mode. For pedals, for switches, there's 2 types of switches, latch and momentary. And latch is on, off. Like if you hit it on, hit it again, it's off. Hit it on, hit it off. Momentary is hold down, it's on, let off, it's off. On, off, on, off. So that's momentary. So there's some effects on here that use both the latch and both the momentary, and so I use the momentary a lot. So I'm like hitting woo woo woo, like that kind of thing, and so I'm always worried that I'm going to break this. So I bought 3 of these. Well, every now and then they stop making them, and of course they're made in China, probably. Well, yeah, made in China. That's why they're so cheap. But they stop making these, and you'll see them up on Reverb for like $500, and I don't think anyone actually gets $500 for one of these, because eventually they retool them and start making them again. But you can typically, if they're not making them, you might be able to. So it's a Behringer. No, that's not how you spell it. It's B-H-E-R. It's like Behringer, maybe it's even pronounced. That's not. How do you? Oh, B-E-H. That's what I'm doing wrong. E-E-H Behringer. Okay, Behringer, it's a US 600. And I use it, it's called Ultra Shifter. I can't believe I'm not losing you guys with this Tech Talk Harmonist. Yeah, Behringer. Yeah, it's kind of a weird word, but spelling. But anyway, they make pretty cheap stuff. Oh yeah, it says Behringer on the back. So it's got, let's see, I'm going to take off my glasses to see it. It's got flutter sound, a tremolo bar, which that's the one I usually use. It has a detune, has a harmonizer, and a pitch shifter that you can actually choose the key and it'll harmonize with you. So you can do all sorts of weird harmony stuff. I actually have sometimes use 2 at a time. So I'm hitting one and going up and down and doing crazy stuff with it. It's kind of fun. It's hard. I couldn't do it live because it would be hard to have 2 feet. But sitting down, I can do it. But at some point, I may do a review of that thing because of the way I use it. But they have one that's this is green. I don't know if you can tell that that's pretty green. It's not going for $20 now. I think list price on it is $49.95. But if you can find one for $20, just make sure it's not broken and for parts only kind of thing. And you know, that might be something where if you broke it, because it is made out of plastic. It's not like a Boss pedal that's like solid as a rock, or even these like the old Ibanez pedals. Those things are like freaking tanks. Is this an Ibanez? No, this is a Digitech. This thing is like super heavy. I did a review of this thing too. I did do a series called, because you know, this is before my channel kind of blew up. I did a series called My Neighbor's Pedals, because I had a neighbor that kind of had a problem. He just bought way too many pedals. It's kind of a collection thing. A lot of guitar. I have friends that have 400 or 500 pedals. And I don't get rid of anything generally because I used to get rid of things and then I would regret it. And there were some things that I got rid of that ended up being worth a lot of money. And I'm like, dang it, why did I get rid of it? Of course, what's that point all about? Because if it's worth a lot of money, then you're thinking of selling it. But here's a playlist that I did. I don't know how many videos are in this. 9 videos, and my neighbor's pedals. And I think in most of these videos, I'm just literally, he's loaning me a pedal, and then the video is me. It's just me adjusting the pedal. Like it's a pretty lo-fi video of me adjusting the pedal and seeing if I want to buy the pedal or not. So there's a couple funny ones. Yeah, my son has a 59 Jazzmaster. Alex has a 59 Jazzmaster. Yeah. What are the titles? Yeah, My Neighbor's Pedals. It's just funny. But yeah, there's the Digitech Meet and Squeeze, Digitech Digital A, Tone Driver, a CMAT Mods Brownie, Ibanez Phaser, Yamaha Flanger, a Wolf computer. That one was crazy. I did not buy that one because he wanted like a couple $100 for it, because I think he paid like $300 for it. I probably should have bought it because the Wolf computer was like, what the heck is this? You can hear it. It actually, it should be called Wolf Farts, because it was, yeah, I had I had my first electric I still have, which was a 1973 Ibanez 175 copy, a lawsuit model. So it was a 73 Ibanez 175. I forget what it was called. It wasn't the Artist. It was before the Artist. Oh, hey, Lance. What do you mean huge? Like subscribers? I'm almost to 70,000 subscribers. And I'm telling you guys, when I get to 100,000, I've told you before, I've played on a lot of Grammy winning records and things like that. And, when you're on a Grammy nominated record, you can get one of those plaques, or if you get a Grammy, if the record wins a Grammy, you can get a plaque, a little thing that you can put on your wall that says, but you have to pay for those. It's like $400, and then you got to send it to a framer to frame it. And that's like another $400. It's like, no, I just don't really care. Especially nobody's coming over here. So it's not like I have to show off, and I'm not trying to hustle work. So I never got those things. And, if you win a Grammy, you win a Grammy, they send it to you. I'm pretty sure you don't have to pay for that. But if you're on the record, you can get a Grammy. I've got lots of friends with Grammys. But I don't think I actually have any records that I played on that won a Grammy. Maybe the Bieber one will. I think not the big winners, they don't, but I think if you want to have one on your shelf, if you actually literally played on the record or something, I'm not sure. I have friends that have Latin Grammys and regular Grammys and stuff like that. So I know that you can get a certificate that a lot of people will frame those and stuff. You guys are you're not catching me touching my face. You are shirking your responsibilities. Oh, it's not the Ultra one. Okay. Yeah, they do have, and Behringer has me with cheap guitars. I'm the same way with cheap pedals. Behringer does have some $20 pedals, and I pretty much have most of them, I think. I bought the bass synthesizer. This thing may have been $30 or something, maybe $50. I mean, $50 is a strike point for me for a pedal if it does a bunch of weird stuff. So you never know. Um, the Bieber records have not. The Bieber records haven't won any. I don't think we've won any Grammys with any of those. But anyway, but when I get that 100,000 subscribers plaque from YouTube, that I am going to hang up, because that literally will represent what will probably amount to over 10 years of work. So that one I will actually be pretty proud of. And I'll put it back here. I'll probably put it up there or something like that, so you all can see it when I'm doing these. So yeah, Justin does. Yeah, Justin and I have written worship songs together. Justin and I have probably written 40 songs together, or collaborated on 40 songs at least. And so, but Justin and I have written a couple worship songs, or one. I would say one was a worship song and one was a message song. And one of them, one of those two was that they were actually on the short list for the new album, but they didn't make it. So. You can help by sharing these videos. That is always helpful. I mean, for a while there, I was going on some music forums. My channel blew up. The first blow up for this channel was, and I don't see him on here. He's not. He's in Sweden, and I forget his. Oh, we're Facebook friends, and I'm so bad with names. Farouk, I think it's Farouk, and he went on to the Reddit guitar forum and said, why doesn't this guy have more followers or subscribers on his YouTube channel? And I was pretty consistent about doing YouTube lessons, and I think I had maybe 1,000 or maybe 500. I can't remember, but I got 800 new subscribers in one day. And so that was pretty cool. And then occasionally someone will share my video or something, but really what blew up my channel and why most of you even know who I am is because of that 7 tips for older beginners. I think I had 8,000 subscribers at that point, and now I've almost got 10 times that. So that was right around 2 years ago that video came out. And that was a video recommendation that one of my subscribers recommended. And so I said, yeah, sure, I can do that. And because I had a bunch of good ideas, because Paul Becker, if you're still there, Paul was one of my older students that started taking lessons, playing guitar. He played guitar before, but he hadn't really taken lessons in a while. And so he started up and he was older. And I had a lot of students like that. And so what I really, really tried to do was encourage. I'm a natural born. That's my spiritual gifting, is encouragement. I kind of would, older beginners, when they show up, they'd be like, I don't know if I can be doing this. I said, well, if you don't try to bite off more than you can chew, and that's one of the things, don't take on too hard of things. First, baby steps, take on easy things, learn easy songs, and so on and so forth. And so that's what, that was one. The other one was keep a guitar out. Well, I've taken that to the extreme. I think I have 25 guitars out right now, because I've got guitars over here you can't see. But it's because I'm working. Like, I was right before literally 2 minutes before we started this, I was playing my Fender baritone up there. The kind of, it looks like brown on the screen, but it's copper. I was playing that on the Apex Legend track, and probably going to do some. Well, I'm going to do some electric now. It's just 6-string. Yeah, so that video just exploded. I think it's last I looked, it was 1.8 million views, and maybe to 2 million views almost now. So if I go to my channel, if I actually go to my official channel and go to click on videos. Oh, I'm live right now. I should check that out. Most popular. By far, my most popular is 7 tips for older beginners. 1.9 million views. So almost to 2 million views. My next one is 5 songs with only 2 chords. I actually did a second one of those, which is funny, and I put links in there, but that one, I did the son of, or the bride of 5 songs with only 2 chords. Where is that? And that one's just way down. Oh, that's only got 10,000 views. So my 5 songs with only 2 chords, the first one I did has 500,000 views. And then I followed that up with another one, and it only has 10,000 views. I don't know why. I don't know why one of them, the older one, is getting promoted by YouTube. And that's almost how I get all of my views is recommended videos at YouTube. So if Google decides they don't want to recommend my videos anymore, I'll lose more than half of my, or a lot of views. And so that's why when you like a video, give it a thumbs up, because basically what YouTube does with that information is they take that information, and I've watched, they've got a lot of really helpful tips for YouTubers. But if you thumbs up a video, then they're more likely to recommend it to others. So if you think it's a video that's really good that others could benefit from, always give it a thumbs up, because it'll start to show up if more people thumbs it up. So that's how you found me, Kathy? Yeah, we can totally celebrate my 100,000. That'll be fun, but I don't know how soon that's going to happen. I mean, I'm averaging right now, although because I'm doing these live screens, my view count's way up, so that's good. My subscriber count is pretty good. When I look at my analytics, which YouTube is great with analytics. So I have 69,430 subscribers. Let's see. Audience? Oh, I think it's on my dashboard. New subscribers. Is it? No. It's more on the phone app. The phone app is really good. The phone app has, yeah. So far in the last 28 days, 1,400 new subscribers. So I've got 30,000 to go, and as I get bigger, as more and more people, I don't know. It's like I said, it's really, yeah, no, that's not what I want to do. So what did I say? 30,000 to go to get to 100,000. So 30,000 divided by 1,400 is about 21 months. So that's a ways off. I mean, but it might, you might find that, if I have a really good month, there were some months I was having 3,000 new subscribers a month, and that's crazy. And so at that point I was calculating that I might get to 100,000 before the end of this year, but it's just not happening right now. I'm not getting that many subscribers. So Lance, you almost have almost 50. Okay. You just started your Guitar Journey YouTube channel, you started. Oh, that's great, Gary. I will subscribe. If you want to post a link down there, you go for it. See if I'll approve it. I think if you post a link, I have to approve it. Yeah, the more likes you get, the more recommendations you get on YouTube. That's exactly right. That's why, Diane, you're one of the ones that say like it. And definitely my like percentage is pretty good. And my like percentage is right around 96 to 97%. Justin Bieber would talk about, he's kind of proud of the fact that he has the video that has the most dislikes in the history. He's like in the Guinness Book of World Records, and his video for Baby has the most dislikes of any video on YouTube. It's pretty funny. He thinks it's kind of a badge of honor for him, I think. Let's see. Bright of is a great name for a follow-up. Well, so yeah, I did a follow-up, and the follow-up was called, where did I already close that window? I did. So yeah, so the follow-up was called 5 More Songs with Only 2 Chords. I just don't know. I mean, here, so if you haven't seen these videos, they're cool. Now, one of the downsides is, my whole thing about not doing lessons on YouTube, that because I do not want to get the copyright thing going. I don't want to have a problem with that. So here's the one. I think this is the one with all the views. This is the big one. And then, yeah, that's the big one. And then the one that's just not fun than sitting around, that's got less views, is this one. And I don't know why, but these are both great videos. It's just 5 songs with 2 chords. The idea is, look, guitar playing should be fun. It should be one of the great things about guitar is you have 4 followers. All right, woo! One of the great things about guitar is you can just take it to the beach. You know, you can take it to a party, you take it to a friend's house or whatever. You can sit, you know, you can just sit anywhere and play guitar or ukulele or banjo or whatever. You know, stringed instruments are great that way. So the whole idea of the 5 songs with only 2 chords was just to give you some songs you can play and everybody can sing along, and you don't have to like memorize anything. You don't have to, you learn to, and in the process, you may learn 2 new chords. So I have another one ready. Now I haven't recorded it yet, but I want to do, because you know, it's hard to find songs with 5 chords. In fact, I'm wrong. The first one I was wrong. Apparently, Horse with No Name actually has 3 chords, but I forgot about the bridge. So I'm kind of lazy about it. I'm like, yeah, you know, you can play most of the song with 2 chords, and the bridge chord is actually close enough to one of the other chords where you could probably just get away with it. So that's oh, you did hit follow for Gary. Let me see if I can find Gary. Well, Gary, I'll try to find you later, or if you want to send me that link, you can. And same with you, Mark. And I think the rule is, and because I'm past the rule now, I don't know, but because I think it's once you have 1,000 subscribers, which takes forever to get to, and 10,000 views, which doesn't take as long. If you've got 1,000 subscribers, you're going to have 10,000 views. There are people with 100 subscribers that have millions of views because they have one cat video that went insane. But I think it's, if you get 1,000 subscribers and 10,000 views, you can start to monetize. So that monetize button will turn on, I think, at that point, but I could be wrong. Yeah. And, you know, people like to, I mean, I love YouTube. I follow so many people really, you know, and they're not all guitar or music related. But so the third video I have, I was going to try to sing the songs, but you know, I also, again, if you start to sing, but it's really hard to hear the song when you're just banging out 2 chords. I think one of the songs on the second one, I can't remember now, was Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. You know, it's just F and G. F and G, not F and G. So, you know, the problem with this song is it kind of requires that you play a bar chord. But if you transpose the song down to, say, down to E and, you know, D and E. You could technically play it in 2 open chord keys without having to pull out the bar chord. But also I have that lesson that's actually one of my most, I mean, just looking at them, my top videos are 7 tips for older beginners by far. Then, you know, the next 3 have over 250,000. I have 5 songs with only 2 chords, play any song in DADGAD, where it's just, I came up with 2 voicings where you could play any minor chord and major chord in DADGAD really easily. And then if you can almost always break down a song into major and minor chords without 7ths or anything like that. You can always simplify a song. I could do a video on that, actually. That would be a good video to do. And then some fun chords in open G, which is a 6-year-old video. And then the next one is some fun chords in open D, which is a 7-year-old video. And it was one of my open tuning videos it was one of my subscribers that liked those videos. He was the one that recommended I do the 7 tips for older beginners. So I'm eternally grateful to him. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Beppe, you're one of, Beppe, I'm kind of assuming, hey, and God bless you in Italy, praying for you. Italy is just, it's been so slammed, and just really hoping to see the back end on this. Actually, every day I check out Italy numbers and see if they're trending down or flat or something. We got to flatten this thing out. So you guys have been kind of holed up for a while. So I'm surprised I don't have a lot more viewers here from Italy, but I'm not speaking Italian, so that's probably why. Buongiorno. But I took my family to Rome in 2005, and we homeschooled our kids. So we would do these field trips. It was a lot of fun. We went to Paris a couple times, and Rome, and London, and Vienna, and it was really, really fun with the kids. Did you see the dancing Kermit video to the Dreams on Facebook? No, I don't think so. 2 days into quarantine, 8 bottles of wine in. Hilarious. 8 bottles of wine. You are French. Kathy does speak French. We have any Italian speakers out there for Beppe? But yeah, the lesson, here's the, okay, I'm going to make a confession here. I'm not a big DADGAD open tuning player. It's not a big thing, but somebody asked me to do a video about that. Oh, it was my brother-in-law. It was the first video I did. And it was, can you show me how to play some normal chords in open D? And I said, okay. So I tuned my guitar to open D, and I just did all these charts. And instead of sending him the charts, I did a video and sent it to him. And then I actually posted that and started getting views. And the whole time I'm going, so Jeff, what you're going to want to do, and Jeff, you're going to do this, and Jeff, this and that. And I realized, I should probably reshoot this video without saying Jeff the whole time. So I reshot that video, and that was one of my big videos. That's one of some open chords in open D. Where is that one? Oh, well, yeah, some fun chords in open D tuning. That's 250,000 views. So, you did, I did the open D minor tuning, which I actually like. I also like, what's the tuning? I want to do one this one I want to do. It's really an open G tuning. It's D, G, D, G, A, D. Dang it. I do not have my lap steel is packed away. It's in the closet. But the reason I want to do that is because the nice thing about that is that there's no third in that chord. And when there's no third in it, you don't have major or minor tonality. So when there's no major or minor tonality, then you can play it over a major chord or a minor chord. But what I do is when I'm holding the slide, and it's this bar slide, okay? This very heavy. It's a Stevens slide is what this is called, because it says Stevens on the side. Right there, it says Stevens. You're holding it like this on the dobro. Oh, wait. I have a dobro, so I can play it. I think I can do it on this. I'm going way long today. Sorry. It was a long lesson. Let me get the tuner on here because this is way out of tune. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune this to, right now it's tuned to open G. So all I got to do is really, it's just sharp. So I'm tuning the B string down to A. I probably won't use the bottom string at all, the D string, much. So it's D, G, D, if it were in tune, G. And then A. Now I have to get my head on, I got to get my brain turned on. And then this is a Gretsch. What was it? What's this called? Something box. It says right here. Roots collection, something, I forget. It's the wood model. I have a steel dobro. This is a wood one. And then I've got a string lifter on it right there. As you can see that. See that thing on the nut? It's like a little $3 string lifter. I did a video on these. I have a link on the video. You can buy them on. You could do this to any guitar. I did it to one of my electrics too. But basically that allows me to play slide without having to even think about. So if I want to play in, like, this is G. So there's the third. So what I'm doing is I'm bending the second string with my third finger. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm bending it out of tune. I would normally do this on my lap steel. The tension's a little bit better for it. Let's see. Dadgad, do I have a lesson with tab on Dadgad? Did you saw, which video did you see? I like your lesson on Dadgad tuning. I mean, the first one, let's see. Play most any song in Dadgad. Some fun chords in Dadgad. Chords in Dadgad tuning. I did one of those. There's a second one of those. Where is that? Oh, here it is down here. I don't know if I use tab. I mean, I'm not using, generally, I'm not using tab on my, because I really don't have a software to do that. So I'm probably using, here's the big one that I did. You may have already seen this, because if you know me, it's probably because of these videos. Here's another one on Open or Dadgad. So this is, I'm not in tune there. There's another one. And then here's, so right, chords in open part 2. This is part 2 of that one. So these are those are all the Dadgad videos I've done, I think. But I don't think there's tab, but I might do numbers on the screen. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've watched those videos. And I may redo them now that I have a bigger audience. But so the nice thing about this tuning is there's G, and then if I want C, go there, D, and if I want E minor, I bend a half step instead of a whole step with my, so like, and I get a pedal steel sound. You're welcome, Pepe. Can you guys hear that? Kind of fun. So I can go D minor if I want. C minor. So I'm just plucking third string, second string, bend, first string, second string, unbend. But I don't really do that. I haven't done that much on this instrument, so I'm not used to the tensions. You have to be careful. You don't want to cut your finger too, because the string's kind of sharp. Anyway, so that's my. So that tuning was G. It was kind of an open G2 tuning. It's right there, D G A D. A bonus lesson, exactly right. Yeah, it's a fun trick. I've been doing it for a long time. My son Alex kind of has a basic pedal steel. It's kind of like got 2 pedals or something like that. I've always wanted to get a pedal steel, but I don't need something that takes up that floor space. And I do have an old 1940s triple neck lap steel. It's by Fender, and it's pretty giant. And it would be really, really cool for some sound effect. If I was scoring a movie or a TV show, I would probably have it set up and I would use it as part of the sound, depending on the show, of course. If it was a sitcom, I probably wouldn't. But if I would love to score a show like Breaking Bad or something like that. I think it would be really, really fun to do that. Is Levi sponsoring me because I keep turning my back? I don't mind. I'm probably seeing more than you should see. Right. So anyway, we're going to, tomorrow we will finish this. So I'm going to hold this up, yesterday's lesson up one more time, what we did yesterday. So if you're just now joining, you can take a screenshot of our modes lesson from yesterday. All right. We wrote a piano keyboard up here. We wrote out relative modes to the key of C. These are all relative to the key of C because they all have the same key signature, which is no flats, no sharps. Then we went and analyzed them, right? We went and go, what are they made of? How do we make these? Oh, look, there they are. And then we turned around and we made 7 parallel modes. You guys were great. You're blowing me away with this. Yeah, Jerry Douglas is the best I've ever seen. He's the best. Jerry Douglas makes me want to quit playing dobro. Seriously. You guys look up Jerry Douglas. He plays with, what's the singer that he plays with? The girl, great, beautiful voice. If you say nothing at all, Alison Krauss. Thank you, Gary. Yeah, Alison Krauss. Jerry Douglas plays in her band. Oh my gosh, what a great dobro player. I mean, he's done some videos on lessons and things like that. So I've stolen some of his stuff. But I'm going to sign off. I'll leave the live chat up so you guys can hit it. It's 2 hours. We literally, though, did spend an hour on the lesson. So that's crazy. I don't think tomorrow's lesson will take that long. So I'll try to keep this to like an hour and 10, 15, something like that. So, yeah, Union Station. He plays in the band Union Station. So good. So, yep. Let's get back to work. I got to get back to work too. So God bless you guys. Thanks so much. Hey, Julian. Oh, have you been watching this whole time? When did you get on? Julian's a great guitar player. Very good friend of a friend. All right. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Oh man, Julian, you're awesome. Hope I'm assuming you're learning something then, or at least you just want to see my mug. I'll talk to you all later. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. The Tom Strahle. I need a theme song. I'm going to have to write a theme song between now and then. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.